What is going on, YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission War, where it's my mission to lead you guys into the combat zone. So, welcome to my channel. This channel is going to be dedicated to covering a new game that has just been released today for Apple iPhone. It has been out since November for Android, and that game is called Warpath. It's a mobile game, and it's more of a real-time strategy game that has obviously some of your key mobile game characteristics to it, but definitely has a lot more going for it than I would say some other mobile games that we don't no names need to be mentioned, but are very money hungry and different things like that. I haven't noticed too much of that going on so far in this game, but as you can tell, I'm only level 12 as I just started playing about 2 weeks ago, and I got some learning to do myself. I'm not an expert by any stretch of imagination, but you guys are going to be able to watch my power and my village and city here, my forces grow as you guys follow my channel, and hopefully we will eventually be one of the top players on the server here. But today's video is really going to cover whether or not you should invest your time into this game, or whether or not you should really be playing this game if you're into these type of games. And we're just going to kind of cover some of the basics that are going on in this game. Now, first and foremost, as you can see here, I'm going to select all my units. I'm going to bring them out. Your units actually move where you would like them to move, which is a really nice feature here. And I got some A-20 medium tanks, a 5-star Tiger P, some Katishka rocket artillery, and then some basic M1 A1 carbine infantry units right there. So this game is set in the backdrop of a World War II setting to some extent. It's slightly a different timeline, as there is a faction called the Ravens, which is basically the Germans, the Axis powers. But the difference is that they have control of most of the world now. They're a major faction, and you're kind of fighting in a timeline that would, I'd say, a little bit more like Wolfenstein, where it's a little bit more set in the future compared to the 1940s. Later on in the game, there are some very high, experimental units that actually never saw combat. So it gives you that chance to collect some of these units. And if you're into collection-based games where you collect units based on their star level, based on things, this game is really going to be awesome for you. If you already were kind of like that and you liked games like that, and then you throw in being the fact that it's a World War II situation as well. I think you're going to have a lot of fun playing this game. As you can see here, this is my infantry squad here, and I will, there's different parts and different things that can upgrade. There's a bunch of different, things to, upgrade in this. So let's see, is this better than what I have? It's actually the exact same, so we don't need to do anything there. But basically, there's a lot of different troop modification here. You can upgrade your units, get them leveled up, and upgrade your parts here. You can add different parts to it. I'll add a 7.5 centimeter gun here, but we will also go here over to the assembly. You can see there is all kinds of upgrades for your actual units, as well as if you go here and you start looking here back down to, these are the probably the 3-star units. You get the VK3001H, and as you work your way up the tech tree here, collecting newer units, you want to eventually be able to get yourself a Tiger II, and then a Tiger II-H, and then finally the King Tiger over here, the Tiger II OS-B. Now the nice thing is, as much as you have all those different options, here to modify and really ramp your way up to some of these more experimental tanks that never really actually got to see combat. There's also some super heavy units that obviously, like your Moss, which is a super heavy. There's some E75s, E90s. I haven't really seen what the Americans have to offer yet. I haven't seen those units as I don't have them unlocked. And the way you unlock units in this game is basically you get these tokens and you can draw one, and we'll see what we get here. And that's kind of a waste of a unit. We'll end up probably scrapping that for some parts, or combining it to make a better unit overall. But one of the things I really like about this game, and one of the things that I think that it may be worth you spending some time into this game, is just the way you actually can move your units around and how they actually engage in combat. As I said, this is a real-time strategy game, so there is some real-time strategy to it. Now my units are much more powerful than this group of Tiger IIs over here that I'm going to take out, so I should make quick work of them and collect these resources here. But at some of the later stages of the game, like you know, certain vehicles counter other vehicles, so it's important to have artillery if you're going to raid somebody's base because it does a lot more building damage. And then, you know, medium tanks counter, you know, they're kind of an overall versatile role, but heavy tanks, you know, are countered by light tanks, and then, you know, light tanks can counter heavy tanks, and then super heavies are pretty well rounded overall. But, you know, tank hunters counter heavy tanks and super heavies, and there's a lot of that going on. And when you actually go to modify all your units, that allows you to really open the door to playing around with some different options, which I think is what, you know, all of us can really ask for, especially in a collection-based game. You know, you want to get your units, and, you know, if you want to focus on mainly American units, you know, Camp Liberty units is what they call them in this game, you can do that. If you want to focus on mainly German units, you can do that. If you want to focus on mainly Soviet units, you can do that. So if you have like a favorite vehicle or tank or something along the lines of that you know, you really want to upgrade that unit, you know, in particular, then you have the ability to do that. Obviously, you know, the drops are random, you have to unlock that stuff, but it definitely has, you know, that feel to it where you're going to be ramping up your power and, you know, going to be going after other players and whatnot. And I like the overall strategy aspect of your units all individually fire. You know, you can see every one of my tanks lights off a shot here. You know, my artillery launches a full barrage, and, you know, all my infantry's firing. It just, it gives you a sense that it's not quite as mobile gamey as some other mobile games that I have played. You can see my command center here has a bunch of upgrades available to it here, but you have your basic mobile game features here. You know, you produce building materials. You know, they take hours to complete. You know, you keep coming back throughout the day. You have research elements in the game. I mean, all that stuff is present. You know, no different than what you would have with a mobile game situation here. You're going to have a lot of that stuff. You're going to upgrade your barracks. You're going to be sending out supply trucks to, you know, collect loot and different things like that, and my units are on their way back right now. But I think one of the things that, you know, whether or not you're going to ask yourself the question of should you spend some time in this game, should you invest into this game at all, really I think you have to answer that question is do you like games where you're going to be collecting units? Do you like games that you really, especially if you're a World War II fanatic and you like all these experimental units and stuff, you're going to be able to collect them, upgrade them, you know, and start to really diversify them. And I think that in itself could warrant some playtime out of it. And again, with the real-time strategy aspects, and it's not just, you know, what you see me do here on the map. And if I take a scroll out here on the map, this is just the region I've explored, which you could tell is quite large with my scout planes. This is all I've explored. But if I scroll out even further, you could see that there is quite a large map, just on at least where I'm at currently. And then if we go out even further than that to the global map, we're at Port Sudan right now. There is a lot going on here. So I don't really know what everything's used for yet. Like, I don't know how to get to Paris, if you even can, if it's something that, like, opens at a certain time or whatnot. I have no idea. I'm going to learn that as we go. Like I said, I'm only level 12, so I got a ways to go here. I only have 210,000 power. But, I mean, one of the cool things I think that this game is really going to offer is, like, you can see this is a Raven stronghold here. This outlined red area is territory owned by the Ravens. So, you know, realistically, if you had you know, and I'm in a part of an alliance right now, but if you had a massive alliance, you know, launch a siege on this whole region, you know, you start taking over their towns and their bases and stuff, this territory can become yours. And the alliance I'm in right now, it's just kind of, I just joined it to fulfill a mission, but this was our territory here with our central command center, and we had a bunch of our bases within our borders here, and then some other faction came in and pretty much wiped us all off the map. So now we're a couple of us allies here are just kind of right next to each other, and I haven't actually, my base hasn't been destroyed in a couple days, which is pretty good. So I'm liking the way that's going. But I mean, you have your daily activities, you have your rewards for doing so. I mean, all the stuff that you would expect to come, you know, with a game like this, it's going to be there. But I do like some of the real-time strategy aspects. I love collecting units. I think that that's a lot of fun. There's a lot of modifications to the units. You know, you can kind of make them, you know, your own way, and it's somewhat, I guess, a war RPG to some extent, because you're going to be selecting which units you like the best and how to upgrade them, and I think that creates a lot of replay value in itself. And on top of that, you have something called campaigns here, which you can see on the screen, so you're going to actually be able to fight in, you know, historical battles that took place across World War II, and they're obviously going to be slightly different compared to what they normally are, and there's somewhat of a story that goes on with each campaign. I already beat the Battle of Moscow, so this is actually campaign level 2. what you're seeing right now, and you can see that there is some stuff going on here, but we'll go in battle. We're going to take these units out right now. I got some B1s down there. We're actually going to engage them with all of our units. My rockets just fired there, pretty much blew them up. That artillery unit I have is actually pretty strong once they actually finally get into combat here. But you know, you can see all the units open fire individually. A lot of them have individual skills. Like I can actually activate a bunker for my infantry here, so that, you know, garrisons them into more of a defensive situation, which is pretty good if they're surrounded or if you're on a defense mission. You really like that. But overall, I mean, I really like the real-time strategy aspects to this game, where you're able to kind of move all your units around. You know, you have special skills for them, and, you know, as you go, you're going to be unlocking more and better units and, you know, be moving that. And I think that, again, where this game is going to, wow, I just lost my Tiger P, blown up in one shot. Where this game, I think, is really going to shine is in some of the Alliance War, you know, things that are going to be going on when you're in a full-blown war with other alliances. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot going on there that, you know, it's going to create some of that replay value when you're, you know, coordinating with your team. Hey, we're launching a massive attack tonight on, you know, the alliance that's over here doing what? You know, we got to take their resources. That's the kind of stuff that I think that this game has the potential to get to. And again, with it being set in a World War II setting, that's pretty awesome. You know, you get some of that gameplay loop that you're really looking forward to. So especially if you're into collection games, and there's a lot of events going on the map. You kind of, when you play it, you almost feel like you're entering a different universe, which I really do like. It gives you a feel for, you know, just kind of escaping, and that's kind of what we all end up playing video games for anyways in the long run. So overall, I really do think that this game is worth spending some time into, especially if you like World War II, you like unit collection games or hero collection games. This game is really going to suit you up, and, you know, again, it's free to play, so there's really no harm, and, you know, it doesn't take super long to, you know, experience what the game has to offer, and I think that it's definitely worth spending some time. And if you guys are going to end up investing or spending some time in this game, do make sure to follow and subscribe to my channel, as I'm going to be, you know, covering this game exclusively on my channel from here on out. So we're going to grow together, and, you know, you guys that do follow me, hopefully you're going to be able to see the evolution of this thing go from basically me kind of just winging it here to eventually hopefully becoming one of the best players, or, you know, one of the top players in the game and one of the best alliances and whatnot. So do make sure you guys drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment in the comment section whether you were planning on picking up this game today on iOS or you've already been playing it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Happy hunting until then.